What is up? House of Chillin' back with Season 7, Survivor the Pearl Islands, Wild Shuffle Pearl Islands, and the last season before we get the All-Stars. So here is the official Survivor Amazon DVD cover that is just dropped. Debbie is the only one who I really didn't know who to put for the last one, so I put her. Other than that, I think the other 5 are solid. So a little bit different this time. Before we go into the season, I have to go back into my ratings. So I think I got a little excited and sort of didn't do this the best. I went back and looked at everybody's stats and stuff like that for our winners, and I've made a mistake here. So Sierra, I was very excited about Sierra's win. It was such an exciting win that it really made me so excited that I thought, oh, that is the best win ever. And then I did the season 6 very close after, so I was still high on that Sierra win. And I think I got overly upset at Aubrey. Aubrey played, so just, I'm putting Aubrey number 1. Aubrey played an amazing game. She got 0 votes from anybody the whole time. She ended up getting all but 1 vote to win. She almost played a perfect game. And the thing I kept getting so hung up on was that rock draw, right? Where it was one person's going home and her and Debbie could have gone home. They don't. She pulls it off and basically wins the game in that moment. So was it a risky move that probably didn't make a ton of sense? Yes. But did she pull it off? Yes. So, well, if we get into the real nitty gritty, when there's tons and tons of winners, maybe that will be held against her. I cannot hold that against her versus this crew. So Aubrey's going number 1. Then I looked again at Julia's game. It's just too good. It's such a solid game. She wins the same amount of challenges as Sierra, and she didn't need to, right? So she's doing the same thing Sierra is doing, but she's not needing to, where Sierra was in a position where if she was not winning all those challenges, she was going to go home. So I'm putting Sierra at 3 here. I just think that is the actual proper rankings. Now, you guys can give me feedback if you think that was wrong or not, but I took a good look at the stats, and I feel like that's the way we have to go here. Keeping this all the same, but yeah, I think Aubrey, I underrated her, played an amazing game. I think that's going to be a hard game to beat. Okay, now we can get into the Pearl Islands. So here is our cast for Survivor Pearl Islands. I'm going to be honest, when I first hit the random button and got this cast, I was a tad bit disappointed, but I think there is definitely some good players here, and definitely some players that could be fun, even if they maybe weren't the biggest characters in their actual shows. You'll also see somebody from Survivor Australia here. We'll talk about him when we get there. So we're starting with Austin Carty. He was from Cerie's original season. He was on the Young Guy tribe. Just sort of a basic bro, right? Like nothing really going on strategically or anything like that, but he'll do good in challenges, good enough socially. I think he could definitely get in a good alliance and get far in this game, but do I think he has the brains to win it? No, I don't. Speaking of brains, then we have sort of the complete opposite of a player, somebody who's total brains, and that's Cirie Fields. This is Cerie's, obviously, her first season here, and let's see if she can become a Survivor legend like she has in real life. Absolutely a mastermind of this game and a social powerhouse, right? She has that social ability to sort of trick people into not realizing how good she is at this game. Early game's always going to be hard for her because of her struggles with challenges, but if she can get to the merge, this is the type of game that Cerie's going to win if she's going to win, because in modern Survivor where there's the fire twist, she can always be thrown into fire now, so it's a lot harder for her to win, but in this type of a game, she could absolutely win. Then we have Danielle Murphy. She was from Big Brother 15, I believe. She was Dan Giesling's closest ally. And that's, in my opinion, sort of what she is best for. Not incredibly strategic, but not horribly strategic. Not horrible at anything. Sort of an average player who, if you can get her on your side, if somebody like Cirie can get close with Danielle, she'll absolutely your number 1 ride or die to the end. Does she have the game skills to win it herself? I don't think so, but I guess that would depend who she's there with. Then we have Jason Siska, famously known for the stick, or the effing stick. Jason Siska's overall pretty good at challenges. not really all there, maybe mentally, like not going to be incredibly strategic, not going to be great at puzzles or anything like that, but absolutely, like an Austin Carty, could get to the end just by being good at challenges and being friendly enough. But I think a common thing with a lot of these people is, could they win the game? Well, when we have so many people like that, absolutely. I think some of these people can win the game just by being decent socially and good at challenges. Then we got Jenny Guzman Bay. She was from the Cook Islands originally. Nothing too spectacular about her, nothing too horrible about her. Sort of an average player who, if in the right situation, could potentially do well in this game, but also could be somebody who could be a first boot or an early boot. Then we got Lee Masters. He was from Survivor Vanuatu, from, I believe, what they called the Fat Five Alliance. I'm not body shaming, that's what they called themselves. But in terms of his involvement in that, not super strategic, decent physically, not super great socially. So not somebody who I expect to do great in this game. Mick Trimming is somebody I actually do think could do quite well in this game. In his initial season in Survivor Samoa, he was able to get to the end just basically by being a good leader and being good in challenges and good socially. Has decent understanding of the game strategically, but also sort of somebody that was made to kind of look dumb in the end and kind of got the brunt of the anger. Well, Russell did, and then him as well. I think if Russell's not going to win, you got to give it to him in that spot. I think he's somebody who could absolutely win this game. Yeah, especially with this cast. Then we got Natalie Bolton. She's somebody that people say is one of the most underrated players to play, and that makes sense, right? Because she's good, good in the challenges, great socially, right? In her season, she was able to get in one of the most famous alliances of all time, the Black Widows, which Suri was in as well. So let's see if, obviously, they won't have any pre-existing knowledge of that, so they could go together, they could go against each other. It's all random, but good socially, good strategically, good in challenges, absolutely somebody who could win this game. If we go to the next tribe, we have Alyssa Snyder from Big Brother, sort of somebody like Danielle Murphy, who is going to be real loyal. If you can get her on your side, she's a good ride or die, because she doesn't have, neither of them are really going to be super strategic. They're kind of just going to go with a partner and go to the end. Speaking of somebody who'll go with a partner and go to the end, we have Amber Burkich. This is before she's married to Boston Robin. In this universe, she might marry somebody else. So we'll have to see here. But Amber's somebody who, high upside, low downside. I think she probably makes the merge most of the time, but not incredibly strategic or anything like that. So I absolutely think in a lot of seasons she could be a zero vote finalist, or a finalist who doesn't get a lot of attention. Then we got Brady Finta. Brady Finta fits that Austin Carty sort of vibes, where he's somebody who's good at challenges, can be decent enough socially, but I don't think is going to be a big threat strategically, and I don't think he's going to be putting enough together to win this game. I do think he absolutely is somebody that people who are running the game are going to want to have on their side as a loyal vote, who they can kind of use and have win the challenges. Christy Murphy, big character in Big Brother 21, somebody who actually had a lot of equity in the game, right? So somebody who was in a good alliance, good socially, can get that control of the game, and then has the strategic ability to sort of run a game, but also a very fun character where there's the emotions involved, right? So she has all the abilities to win this game, absolutely, but are her emotions going to get in the way, right? Because she's somebody who's very emotionally driven. So either way, I think it's going to be fun, but she absolutely could win the game. And if she does, it's probably a jam type of win. Then we got David Gannat, not sure exactly how to pronounce his name, the current host of Survivor Australia, I believe a multiple-time winner of Deal or No Deal Island. I believe they call him the Golden God. So I've never, well, I shouldn't say never. I've seen very little Survivor Australian Survivor, sorry. I did see the whole season of Survivor Australia. But I did see David, where I first learned of him was in Deal or No Deal Island, and then I also watched the season of Australia versus the World where I saw him. So familiar with him. I probably haven't seen his best work, but I know he's a really good social, strategic, physical player. Kind of has everything you need to play this game. Good at everything. And the reason he's here because Australian Survivor is not in the Wild Shuffle. However, we got another player. I believe it was Ken Stafford. He was originally on this cast. He's already played this game, so we had to go into our randomizer of other shows where David was selected. So we get David here. Definitely should be one of the top considerations to win this game. Then we got Deshaun Ratter from from Survivor 41, somebody who's good socially, good strategically, sort of like a Christy Murphy, where definitely emotions are going to get in the way. And that's going to be a problem with the jury, right? Because that's what happened in his season. He probably was the deserving winner there, was the one who had the most agency, making the most moves. But if he's coming across too emotional, are they going to be angry at him, or are they going to think he maybe wasn't controlling the game as well as he was? So that'll be interesting to see here. Then we have Garrett Adelstein. I think he's the biggest what if in this cast. Somebody who's good physically. I believe he's like still one of the better poker players in the world. So like an all-time big poker player. So he has that strategic mind. He has that ability to win the mental challenges. But what we saw in his season is just not good socially, right? So somebody who's going to try to potentially game bot this thing, if he can get in an alliance with some of these people, absolutely could win the game. But he's going to have to do it in such a good way that he can overcome his lack of social game. Then we have Ramona Gray. She was from the first season of Survivor, somebody that we didn't get to see a ton of, but was totally good. I think she was getting in some fights and stuff like that. So it could be fun there, but I don't see a ton of upside just because we didn't get to see a ton of her. So could she come out and do something great? Yeah, but I'll have to see that first because it's just not what we've seen so far. So who is going to be my winner pick here? We are 0-6. I'm looking for a winner pick who at least I think can go far here. You know what? I'm just going to pick David from Australian Survivor. I think he's the total package. He has everything. Could that mean everybody starts targeting him? Absolutely. But could he have the social and strategic ability to get himself in a good alliance and run it to the end? Yes, I do believe he could do that. And I think at this point, if I'm going to hit a winner pick, I just need to pick the best player here. So that's what I'm doing here. That might not be what I do the next time, but that's what I'm doing here. So we're going with David. Let's see how this goes. No alliances in the Drake tribe. No alliances in the Morgan tribe. An interesting thing here will be, remember, when people are voted out in this season, they are not for sure gone because they do have that outcast tribe that comes back. Morgan tribe wins immunity. Austin and Cirie bond strongly, so Cirie's working that social game. Natalie and Danielle get in a small fight. Jason's impressing the rest of the tribe. Austin, Mick, and Cirie start an alliance. So Cirie's already working that game, already getting an alliance, and she's getting in an alliance with two strong players who hopefully can keep her safe in this early game. On the Morgan tribe, we have Deshaun and Ramona getting in a minor disagreement. Alyssa and David find something in common, and then we see an interesting alliance form here with Alyssa, David, Deshaun, and Garrett. This is a fun alliance. I think this is an alliance that, if they stick together, could be real fun. Garrett's resting and restoring his energy. This is really good for Garrett too, because I think his problem's going to be getting in these alliances early. If he can get in alliances, he has the mind to get himself far in this game. Okay, so the Drake tribe is going to vote. We haven't seen too much here, but we have to think with the only alliance being Austin, Cirie, and Mick, they should be able to get the votes together unless people are aware of that and they just all turn on them. Okay, we got first vote, Jason Siska. Next vote, Danielle. Next vote, Jason. 2-1 Jason, 3-1 Jason, 4-1 Jason, 4-2 Jason, 4-3 Jason, and Jason Siska is the first person voted out of the game. So let's see what happened here, because he's good enough at challenges. Okay, so it looks like the Austin Cirie alliance, I forget who else is in that alliance, but that alliance wanted Jason Siska out here. Danielle gets on board because the others are going against Danielle. Jenny's with them to vote out Jason. So it looks like Lee was with, or Sarge, I guess they call him. Oh, Mick is the other one in that alliance. Okay, so Sarge and Natalie voted with Jason Siska. So not a good look for Natalie early. Sarge, what are you going to expect? He's not a great player, but Natalie's somebody who could potentially be good here, but she's going to have to be working from the bottom now. Okay, episode 2, there's a twist already. I don't remember this. What is going on here? Okay, so episode 2, castaways are given the opportunity to mutiny to the other tribe. Sarge mutinies to Morgan. Ramona mutinies to Drake. Okay, I did not know this was happened. I haven't seen the season in a long time. I don't think anyone actually did mutiny on there, but okay, so there's a mutiny. Sarge, that makes sense. He was on the bottom of that last vote. He switches, and then Ramona had gotten a fight or so it makes sense that she's switching too. Okay, so this will be interesting here. The problem, I don't think it ever really pays off to mutiny unless you already had a tribe swap or something like what Candace Cody did in Cook Islands, because now you just have such an obvious person to vote out if your tribe goes to tribal. Got this alliance, we got this alliance, 2 fun alliances. And then they get to select one member to loot the other camp. They're sending Ramona back to her own camp to get whatever's best. That makes sense. She'll know where things are. Morgan tribe wins immunity. That's a dominant tribe so far. Sari and Natalie bond strongly. Jenny and Natalie find something in common. So there's Sari and Natalie bonding just like they did in real life. And again, we're seeing Sari work the social game, but we shouldn't be surprised by that. Ramona's impressing the rest of the tribe. So now Jenny, Natalie, and Ramona form an alliance, which is interesting, right? Because Natalie and Jenny were potentially on the bottom here, and Ramona definitely would be on the bottom, but now they form an alliance, and this will be interesting to see how the vote goes. David and Deshawn bond slightly. So now the only person not in an alliance here is Danielle. So maybe the 2 alliances just go against Danielle, or maybe they go against each other, and Danielle's the swing vote. Whoopsie. Sorry about that. First vote, Mick. Next vote, Jenny. So it looks like they are going against each other. Next vote, Jenny. Next vote, Danielle. Okay, so that's a problem because that means the alliances aren't voting together, which means unless there's an alliance voting that, and this is Danielle's vote. I guess we'll have to see. Danielle, Jenny. Okay, so it's a tie, and there's going to be a revote. But so you would think this will solve everything, but I think Danielle might have been, well, I guess if Danielle, so this will solve things, right? Because if Danielle was the one who voted, then she should be, I don't know. Let's just figure this out. Jenny, Danielle, Jenny. Right. Because she voted, she was one of the people who voted differently, then, yeah, let's just see how this worked. Sorry, I'm getting a little confused here. Okay. Austin voted Jenny. Sari voted Jenny. Yeah, this is huge for Sari because her guy stays here. Danielle tries to go against Mick. So Jenny voted against Danielle, obviously. Right, so she tries to go against Mick. That means her vote doesn't count on the revote, which means all the votes for Jenny still count. And that's why Jenny goes home here, because it ends up being Austin, Sari, and Mick who decide who goes home. And now they have control of this tribe. But remember, all these people voted out will get a chance to come back in the game. So we got this going on here, this going on here. Drake tribe wins. They, again, are sending Ramona back there. They're like, you know, your tribe, you keep going back there. Drake tribe now wins immunity, so we'll get to see Morgan have to go to tribal council. Danielle and Mick getting a small fight. Sari's bonding with Mick. Great job, Sari, working that social game. Mick and Natalie find something in common. Ramona, wow. So Ramona's doing pretty good here. She's really now in both alliances. This tribe's not going to tribal, but she's just joined the power alliance, and it becomes even more of a power alliance with 4 now. So Ramona might make me eat my words for a couple things here, for questioning why anyone would ever mutiny in that early game. But she knew she was not doing great on that tribe, so she said, "Let me roll the dice and go to a new tribe. And also she's making me eat my words because I didn't say I don't think she could ever do good, but I said I would have to see it because I just didn't see enough from her game. But Ramona's impressing me early here. Amber and David bond strongly. Garrett is medically evacuated from the game due to an injury. Okay, that's too bad here. So we don't get to see how this tribe would have voted. And Garrett was somebody I was excited to see if he could do better in this game. So he goes out third here. The only thing will be, and this is more of a question with Brantsteele. So if Garrett's medically evacuated from the game, does he still get to come back on the Outcast tribe? Because if the game allows that, we can absolutely work it into the narrative where now he's gone, got whatever medical he needed, and has a chance to come back in the game. That could be interesting. Tribal Council has been canceled. Okay. So that alliance is now only 3 because Garrett's gone. They're going to send Sarge. So they're sending Sarge because he is the one who mutinied as well. He probably would have gone home. I forgot he was on that tribe, so he probably saved. Okay. Drake wins. They must kidnap somebody who will no longer need to attend tribal council. So Drake wins again. Now Deshawn is kidnapped. The thing is, Deshawn was in that only alliance on this tribe, so that's going to be very interesting. Deshawn goes there. Cerise put in the work with Deshawn while he's here for a limited time. Austin and Danielle get in a fight. Mick and Natalie bond slightly. And now Mick and Sari form an alliance with Natalie. So these two are now in alliance with Austin, and they're also with Austin and Ramona, and they're also in alliance with Natalie. They both have bonded strong with Natalie, and look how loyal they are to this. Natalie's like kind of into it, but these two are just obsessed with Natalie and want to work with her. Good spot for Natalie. Amber and Christy get in a small fight. Alyssa's impressing the rest of her team. Now we're going to get the vote. You have to assume Lee's going home here. Deshawn's not here, so the only two from that alliance are David and Alyssa, but nobody else is really connected here, so you think they're going to go for the easy vote and get out Lee or Sarge, I guess they call him. Sarge, first vote Sarge, next vote Brady, next vote Brady, next vote Sarge. So it's 2-2. So somebody's bonded with Sarge to the point where they want to keep him. Oh, no, that makes sense. Third vote Sarge, fourth. Okay, so 4-2. But who voted with Sarge? That's probably not a good look. For Christy, who decided to vote for Brady for whatever reason. Guess they're not getting along. Christy is the type of person who, if she was not getting along with somebody, she'd be like, I don't care how the vote's going. I'm voting out the person that I don't like the most. So that's what Christy's doing. And she's willing to put that target on her back, right? She played that way in Big Brother too. Like, here's what I'm doing. If you don't like it, you can come at me, but I'm going to go with who I want to go for. That chaotic energy. Okay, so here's the tribe so far. We must be getting close to the Outcast twist, but not yet, because it doesn't look like it's coming this episode. So, oh yeah, Deshawn's still on the other beach. He must go back there soon, though. I assume at the reward challenge. So he still plays the reward with them. He can either share the reward with the Jake tribe or immediately return. He chooses to share the reward. And then Danielle's going to go take the loot. So now he's back on this tribe. They win immunity. Sari and Danielle bond strongly. Natalie's impressing the rest of the team. Natalie and Austin find something in common. So on this tribe, Natalie and Sari are putting in the work. They're both doing really well so far. Alyssa and Amber bond slightly. Brady and Christy have a small fight. So now, and this is classic Christy too, right? She just stuck her neck out on the line to get Brady out of there. Right. Yeah, that was to get Brady out. So she's absolutely coming at this guy. She has a problem with Brady, and she's not afraid for anybody to know. She wants Brady out of there, and she's going to keep fighting with him, even if their tribe is safe. We'll read the votes here. Danielle is probably in trouble, right? Because Sari and Mick are in an alliance with Austin, and Ramona, they're also in a separate alliance with Natalie, so you got to think Danielle goes here, even though Sari and Natalie bonded strongly. Natalie, Austin, Natalie, why am I calling her Natalie? Sorry. Danielle, Austin, Danielle. 5-1 for Danielle. Yeah, she goes out. Sari didn't want her to hear anymore. It's the only one she's not aligned with, so she had to go, even though they bonded strongly. I'm guessing it's going to be the Outcast twist now. No, we get a full another episode here. Okay. So here's our alliances. Everybody in the tribe is in some sort of alliance at this point. These three are the only ones in that one. Mick's going to go loot. Morgan wins immunity. So this is going to be interesting here because Mick and Natalie bond slightly. Deshawn's impressing the rest of his tribe. Alyssa and Christy have a major fight. Okay, so now Christy's fighting with somebody else too, right? Christy's like, if I'm not into this, I'm not into this. And she's safe again. So going to be interesting here. Brady works hard at camp, but Christy doesn't care. She still doesn't like him. Okay, here's going to be the interesting vote because everyone's aligned with somebody. You have to think these three in the middle, being in multiple alliances and seeming to have the power here, are going to pick between Ramona and Austin. Austin's only in one alliance and no alliances with Natalie, so you think Austin's probably the target here, but do they just go Drake strong and vote out Ramona? We're going to find out. First vote, Ramona. Second vote, Ramona. Third vote, Natalie. Next vote, Sari. Oh, weird. So I don't know what's going on here. And then Ramona's voted out. Okay, so Ramona gets 3 votes. So these 3 are running this tribe, like we thought. Austin, for some reason, votes Natalie. He doesn't even vote with these 2 who he is in an alliance with. My guess here would be Austin's feeling a little bit threatened because he's seeing his 2, Sari and Mick, more and more working with Natalie. So he's trying to just like get Natalie out. He doesn't have the strategy to actually put anything together, but he's throwing his vote that way because he feels intimidated by the relationship between these 3. And then Ramona, for some reason, throws a vote at Sari, who she's in an alliance with. She's not even in an alliance with Austin, but Ramona feels like Sari needs to go. I think she probably is seeing that Sari's running this game and trying to throw a vote that way to show the rest of the tribe. Will it work? We'll have to find out. Okay, we're going to episode 7. Is the Outcast twist still here? Like, this is weird. Anyway, here we go. I assume the Outcast twist is in Brantsteele. They seem to have all the others. Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay, so. Oh, and it looks like they want immunity. Okay. I think they probably always want immunity, right? Because this is not a strong tribe, but I guess I wonder if Brantsteele works in the fact that these people have been resting and stuff like that. So now we're going to get 2 of these people back. Now, what's kind of unfortunate about this is I feel like, no offense to these 5 people, but I feel like they're a pretty good 5. Like, we haven't had that person yet who it's like, oh, this person's doing so great. Now they got blindsided and we want them back in the game. So to note here, they did not let our boy, why can't I think of his name? Garrett Adelstein. Garrett Adelstein was not medically cleared to come back to play this, so he's not able to play. So there's only the 5 of them. They win. Both tribes will go to crab, and 2 of them now get to return to the game. Okay, Mick and Natalie are bonding strongly. So both tribes have to vote somebody out, I believe, right? Brady and Deshawn have a minor disagreement. Alyssa and Brady find something in common. Christy has a major meltdown, right? She's like, why are people bonding with Brady? She's all on Deshawn's side for fighting with him, but she's like, why is Alyssa finding something in common? Like, this guy is horrible. Why would anybody? And she fought with Alyssa too, so she hates both these people. Okay, wow. David's leading the alliance here, so this tribe is shambles. The Morgan tribe is messy. Amber's restoring her energy. Great job, Amber. I forgot you're on this tribe. Okay, so anything could really happen here. Alliances have been left. That Brady vote has to be from Christy Murphy, but she's having meltdowns. She's probably the easiest vote to go here, but let's see. First vote Brady, next vote Christy, next vote Brady. So you got someone on her side. Next vote Amber. Again, this tribe is a mess. I don't know what's going on here. Next vote Amber. So 2-2-1, and then Amber goes home. Okay, so what on earth happened here to send poor Amber home? Alyssa votes Amber, Brady votes Amber, and Deshawn votes Amber. Okay, so Deshawn and Alyssa are still in that alliance. Brady takes David's spot and they vote out Amber. Amber gets on board with Christy to vote out Brady, right? Because Christy's just ranting about Brady so much. Amber thinks, okay, I think I can get on board with that as long as it's not me. She's trying to play that Sandra game. And then David is just like, I'm not going to do anything here. He's like, I'm not going home, so I'm just going to vote for Christy because she is being so horribly annoying at camp. She's causing so much drama. I cannot have her here anymore. So he tries to do that. That's probably going to backfire on him because she's going to not be happy with receiving a vote here and get real mad about that. And then they are going to get one of the outcasts to join this tribe. Okay, so this 4, you got to think these 3 are going to take out Austin. I do see a vote for Austin. Hopefully that's the case because these 3 have been really fun and I don't want to see any of them go this early. First vote Austin, next vote Natalie, next vote Austin. Okay, thank you. So the Super 3, as I'm calling them, so this was the original alliance, but Natalie did a great job of working her. After being on the wrong side of that first vote, she does a great job here of getting in with these 2. They become instantly more loyal to her, and they all take Austin out of the game. And it will be a little protection for. I don't know if we go straight to the merge with this, or maybe we just go straight to the merge. Yeah, we do. Okay, so these are our tribes here. If the Morgans can stick together, they could run this post merge, but they're a very messy tribe, and we got to see who comes in here. Okay, so they're gonna all get a chance to vote people back in the game, right? First vote, Jason. Next vote, Danielle. Next vote, Ramona. Next vote, Sarge. Next vote, Jenny. Did they all just vote themselves? Next vote, Sarge. Next vote, Jenny. Next vote, Sarge. Next vote, Jenny. Next vote, Sarge. Sarge and Jenny will return to the game. Oh, cool. So 2 people who haven't had a big impact here. Not super excited to have them back, but Sarge has now mutinied and done the outcast twist. So he's really living the twists here. Okay, so this is who, if we care, this is who they voted to bring back in. I don't really care about that too much. Okay, now we have the Balboa tribe, and that was originally because of Rupert's snake. So in this season, Deshaun's the type of guy who he found a snake. He loves the snake. Its name's Balboa. He convinces the tribe, we got to name the tribe after my snake, Balboa. So here's our alliances. So that's the thing. The Morgans don't have a good enough alliance. So this is prime for Suri to be able to get in there and have this group run it to the end. Mick wins immunity. Okay, so this is unfortunate for Suri, right? We have Alyssa, Brady, David, Deshaun, and Lee forming an alliance here. This is going to be an alliance that can absolutely run the game. And then with Mick being immune, we're unfortunately probably going to lose a Suri or Natalie here, which is going to be devastating because they've both been really fun here. But yeah, that's all the Morgan people, and then they're having Lee join this alliance. Okay. First vote, Sarge. Oh, no, sorry, Sarge. Oh, so not only do they come back in the game, but they get, okay, this is too overpowered, right? 2 people get voted out so they can have their spot, and they get safety from this vote. I do not like that. This is a dumb twist, but that's the fun thing about doing this, right? We get all these dumb twists that were real in Survivor. Now we have to deal with them too. First vote, Natalie. Next vote, Brady. Next vote, Natalie. Next vote, Brady. Natalie, Brady. Okay, 3-3. Natalie, Brady, 4-4. Natalie, Brady, 5-5. So it's a tie. Okay, so Natalie and Suri have been able to pull some people over. You have to think they were able to pull Christy over when they said they'll vote Brady. So now it's 5-5. Let's see how this revote goes. First vote, Natalie, Brady, 2-2. Natalie, 3-2. Natalie, 4-2. Brady, 4-3. Natalie goes home here. Okay, that's unfortunate. I mean, I'm glad it's not Suri, but Natalie was playing a fun game here too. So yeah, so Christy jumped on the Brady bandwagon. She's like, if we're voting out Brady here, I am on board. And she does that with the Drakes. Looks like it's pretty straightforward here. So Jenny does not vote, or Jenny votes with the Drakes, who she was initially with, but when it's tied, she's like, I'm not going to go to Rocks for this. Like, these people voted me out of the game. I was being loyal to them, but there's no reason to be loyal to them, to Rocks, when they weren't loyal to me. And that's the one who deviated, right? So that makes sense. they were able to pull Jenny and Christy. And I feel like as long as you keep voting Brady, you'll have Christy vote. Okay, this is the Super Alliance. So this is not all the Morgans. It doesn't have Christy in it. So they replaced Christy with Lee Sarge because Christy's just too volatile. So that's going to be now where Suri has to go either to get out Christy or to try to work with Christy. But this 5 is going to be hard to beat. Jenny wins reward. She shares it with Suri. Suri wins immunity. Okay, so it was, so that makes sense. It was like a total mental thing. So great job for Suri here. Clutch win. Let's see if she can make the most of this because Suri's not very likely to go on a full immunity run here. So we need her to make the most of this and try to get people to work with her while she has safety. So they join Jenny in the alliance. Jenny's still willing to work with them. She had to vote out Natalie because she didn't want to go to Rocks for them, but she's still willing to work with them. Mick's putting in that work with Alyssa, so they're trying here. I would like to see though Suri putting in some more work with the Morgans. If Mick's our guy doing it, like, come on, Suri. Maybe she's comfy, right? She has that immunity. She thinks, okay, I'll just survive this round and put in the work next time. Mick, you have to put in the work because you're probably the one going home here. I guess that's her train of thought. Mick gets the first vote, then Jenny. Mick, Brady. You got to think that's Christy. Mick, Brady. Wow, so it somehow ties up on Brady here. And whoever voted Jenny is going to have that deciding vote now. And I thought the Brady vote was a throwaway. Okay, Mick, Brady, Mick, so 2-2. Brady, 3-2. Mick, 3-3. And Mick goes out of the game here. Too bad. Suri's losing allies left and right. Mick played a pretty good game here. Not much he could have done there. Alyssa voted Jenny, and then vote out Mick. That makes sense, right? Because we saw them bonding, so Alyssa didn't want to go after Mick, even though she knew the votes were there. She was hoping she could just throw a vote on Jenny and make it go away. But eventually she has to make a decision, and she decides to ride with her Morgans. And all the Morgans vote Mick besides her, who did that, and of course Christy, who's just going to vote Brady every time. Like, this is so funny, and it's so classic Christy, right? She's just got this vengeance and she doesn't care about the game at this point. And it's really too bad because and this is what I said, right? She's a very good social and strategic player, but if she gets in an emotional rut like this, she's just going to become hyper fixated on it. So she's losing all the bonds with the Morgan tribe by consistently just going after one of their own. And Suri and the rest of the Drakes have figured out if they just vote Brady, they'll have a vote with them every time because she's going to do that every time. So yeah, all the votes went as we expected. So now Suri is only got Jenny as an ally. Gonna be pretty hard for Suri to get out of this. But if she can, she proves that she's a Survivor legend. Here's the alliances. This monster alliance is probably going to be what gets us to the final 5. Now, maybe I don't want to jinx it because I haven't even talked about this and it's been going so well, but my winner pick is still here and he's in a good spot right now, especially because realistically, he hasn't even won any immunities yet. So now, watch this. I'm just going to have jinxed it, but we're looking good there. I've been more focused on Suri because she's been the one I've been sort of rooting for throughout here just because the game she's been playing has been real fun. Okay, so now they're going to do some sort of a challenge where they're paired up. Alyssa and Lee, Alyssa and Sarge, Christy and Suri, Brady and David, Deshawn and Jenny. Christy and Suri win. Wow, good for them. Deshawn wins immunity. Deshawn and Jenny find something in common. Brady and Sarge have a lasting impact. Brady, David, and Jenny form an alliance. Okay, Brady's medically evacuated from the game, so lasts one more episode. She was probably dead to rights here. He makes an alliance. And as you see, everybody on the tribe is concerned watching Brady go away, and Christy's just laughing in the background, happy as a clam that Brady has been evacuated from the game. Ends up he goes out after tripping over a big rock and twisting himself to a point where he was too injured. People are starting to wonder if Christy put that rock there because it's all too convenient. He's no longer in the game. Tribal Council is been canceled. 2 medevacs in the season. So we're down to the final 7. Cirie's still here. David's still here. Deshaun, I think, playing an underrated game. Christy playing a real fun, messy game. But now who's she going to vote for? So Deshaun and Alyssa, I think I haven't realized how strong of an alliance they're in, right? So these two are a strong pair. And like we said, Alyssa is loyal, right? So she's going to be loyal to Deshaun here. And David's got Jenny in alliance on the side. So I think if things go the way they go, Cirie probably goes out here, and then David and Deshaun are fighting for numbers. Cirie, really, her best move here is to try to get one of them to feel like they can trust her. Cirie wins reward, though. She wins to have a level 1 at camp. I believe her husband, HB, has come to a camp before, so that's what happens here. Christy wins immunity. Okay, that's fun. It was a spelling one, so Cirie could have won that one. But Christy wins this. Christy and Alyssa have a minor disagreement. Gotta think that at this point, Cirie's going to be done here, but let's see what happens. First vote, Jenny. Next vote, Sarge. Next vote, Sarge. Next vote, Jenny. Next vote, Sarge. Next vote, Jenny. And Jenny goes home. Vote of 4-3. Cirie doesn't get a vote. And that is the Cirie Fields game, where somehow, when she's the obvious target, she doesn't get the vote. How did they go for Jenny here? Because David was close with Jenny. So Alyssa votes Jenny. Christy and Cirie vote Sarge. David voted his girl Jenny. So Deshaun votes Jenny. So that alliance voted Jenny. And they all stuck together. I just don't know why they would go to Jenny over Cirie. Gotta think Deshaun's was getting threatened by the fact that David was bonding with Jenny and he wanted to get her out. He puts that on David, and David's willing to do it because he doesn't want to have Deshaun coming at him at this point. But now Deshaun has his strongest ally. Alyssa's still in the game. Christy's sort of a wild card here. She seems to be voting with Cirie every round now, so we'll see what happens here. These are our only alliances in the game. Okay, they're in 2 groups. Looks like Christy, David, and Deshaun win. So this is interesting, right? Because these two are working together, but they have to be eyeing each other up. And Christy's a very wild card here. Deshaun wins immunity, so now he's putting it on. Somehow David's not winning any immunities. But I still think he's my winner pick, so I want him to go to the end. But I feel like he's somebody you want to target at this point because he could absolutely, with only a couple immunities left, win out. But David and Deshaun are bonding strongly. Rather than go against each other, they're eyeing each other up. We hear a conversation with them saying, too many women are winning this game. If you look at the winner rankings, it is all women and Jam Jam. So we have 6 winners, 5 are women. These two say, we are the Alpha Bros. We need an Alpha Bro to win. The Alpha Bros have not won yet. Jam Jam's not an Alpha Bro. The Alpha Bros have not won yet. We are being targeted. We need to make sure we work together. They want us to go against each other, but let's Alpha Bro this to the end. That's what they're bonding strongly over. Deshaun has immunity here. Again, I feel like Cirie's got to be running out of them 9 lives. First vote, Christy. Next vote, Christy. Next vote, Christy. Next vote, Cirie. Next vote, Christy. Okay, so Cirie has not ran out of 9 lives. At this point, they're like, Christy has never worked with us. We don't have any bond with her, and we're all going to vote her out. And this is the mastermind of Cirie. This is why Cirie's so good at this game, right? Because she can bond so well with people, and then she doesn't appear like a target even when she is such a big target. So they're willing to vote everybody off before her. And now it's just their alliance in Cirie because they say there's no worry about Cirie. But really, Cirie is Now, very close to the end of this game, she's with an alliance. It's going to be hard, especially if if these bros are sticking together and they've got Alyssa, she's in trouble. But, I mean, she's doing great work. She's proven herself, absolutely. Here's our alliances. Sarge wins reward. He takes Alyssa. They go to a suckling pig fest. Suri wins. Okay, wow. Holy cow. Suri wins immunity. This could be happening. I don't want to get overexcited, but now the alliance is going to have to turn on each other. We have to think Sarge is going to go because he's not really in that alliance, but still, this is a big moment. Suri and Sarge find something in common. Sarge is impressing the rest of the tribe. Alyssa's impressing the rest of the tribe. Sarge, you're impressing the rest of the tribe, but I think you still are going to be the target here because these three are incredibly close. Unless that bro conversation meant nothing, but we'll have to see here. First vote, Deshawn. Next vote, Deshawn. Next vote, Sarge. Next vote, Sarge. Okay, 12th person vote out. Deshawn. Oh, that bro conversation meant nothing. Wow. Okay, this is a big move. So Suri obviously goes to David and says, I know you understand this game. I know you are the other mastermind here. What are we doing keeping Deshawn in this game? He's likable. He's won challenges. He is a threat to win this game. You can't vote out me. So why don't you vote out Deshawn? You'll still have the numbers. Why don't you vote out Deshawn? But Suri knows that if David turns on Deshawn, Alyssa, look, she voted Sarge. She's going to be so mad. That was her number one who just went home. And they pull in Sarge because David has a good relationship with Sarge. She's the one who brought him into this alliance. So Sarge goes along with it. And now we're at the Final Four. This is incredible. We have two great players here. Alyssa, who knows what Alyssa's going to do. She's going to be making big decisions here right now, and she might be mad at David for voting out her number one. They're still an alliance. It still says they're strong. I don't know about that. What is this? The jury wins? What are they doing? The jury, I don't remember this. This is the immunity, so the jury wins. So what does that mean? Okay, Sarge impresses the rest of the team. Sarge is in. I don't know what happens here. The jury won immunity, so that means that's really tacky. If that means nobody gets immunity now. Yeah, nobody gets immunity. Suri's going to go home. This is already a stupid twist, but now people are going to be so angry about this twist because it's going to take out Suri here. This season seemed to be trying a lot of different things coming into All Stars. Not a lot of good twists here. A lot of weird ones. Okay, so first vote Suri. Next vote David. Next vote Suri. Next vote Suri. Okay, the queen is gone. Suri has been voted out of the tribe. Great performance by Suri. You'll absolutely see Suri again. She played a very Suri type game, right? And made it very far. She made the top four. She gets a fourth place finish here. And yeah, that group's still willing to work together here. Okay, so now something I haven't talked about again for a while is the fact that David's here. And I feel like Lee and Alyssa have done nothing. I feel like Lee has done nothing. They have not done too much at all. So, David, if you don't get picked off here, I think you could be. I don't want to jinx this. I'm not going to say it. But he also has won 0 challenges, which is weird. Okay. There we go. That's what I said. He hasn't won a challenge. Now he wins a challenge. He gets to decide what happens here. This is great. They bond slightly. I would recommend not taking Alyssa. I think he can be either, but Alyssa's for sure going to have Deshawn's vote. Where who's going to vote for Sarge? David has the immunity necklace. He votes Sarge off. He tries to show the jury he's a loyal guy. That's why he does it, right? He believes he can beat either, but he believes that he needs to make sure the jury feels good about him. So he takes out the guy who has already been voted out of the game once, who mutinied against his tribe. Sarge would be an easy vote, right? Very unlikable. But he takes him out here. Now, is this going to... I think David should still win here. It might impact him having the first 7-0 win, though. because you have to think Deshaun votes for Alyssa. Okay, let's see what happens here. First vote Alyssa, next vote David, next vote David, next vote Alyssa, next vote David, next vote David. Okay, so David wins. 2 people voted Alyssa here. So let's see who that was. Not surprising. Okay, my winner pick just won. I forgot. Yes. That's what happens. So my strategy is to just pick the best player. How easy is that? Yes, our winner pick won. Okay, very excited about that. David wins. So Suri voted Alyssa. Weird. I think Suri's kind of saying like, girl, I know you're not going to win, but you played a good game. Girl power here, right? I think Suri's a very nice person, right? She sees a young girl who got to the end and says, I don't want her to get totally blown out of votes. Deshaun votes for David, so he did not vote for Alyssa. So who's the other Alyssa vote? Mick. So Mick also thought, I think Mick thinks the same thing, right? He's a nice guy. He's like, I feel bad for Alyssa. They bonded a lot in this game. Doesn't want her to get shut out, and so she gets 2 votes here. David wins the fan favorite award. At this point, I crapped on the fan favorite award, but I think 90% of the time it's right. It's just maybe they've updated this since I used to play this a lot, but when I used to play Brantsteele a lot, it would just be a completely random person, like the 3rd person voted out. So that was dumb. But David winning the fan favorite is awesome. Okay, so here is our final boot order. Pretty good season, pretty fun. We'll see where we rank it, but one thing I want to check is David got 1 vote. So he got 1 vote the whole time, and then so he was pretty close to playing a perfect game there. Not the challenge beast that I thought he was going to be, but a really good game by David. Never really in trouble here. Strategically dominating, always in the big alliances. But where do I put him? So my thoughts right now are, is he better than Sierra? And Sierra's game's so hard to rank, right? But the more I think of it, the more I think Sierra's game was not that great, right? She had 1 move where she was able to socially bond with people, so they didn't vote her out, and then she won a ton of challenges. And while that's impressive, that's only one element of the game where David had himself well connected the whole game. Yes, David was in the dominating alliance, but he put himself in those situations. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm putting David 3rd. The reason I'm putting David below Julia is because I think David and Julia played a very similar game, except Julia won 4 immunities and David won 1. So I cannot, let's just confirm that David won 1. Yeah, David won 1. So I cannot put him above Julia, and nor do I want to. Then in terms of my favorite season here, I'm putting this 3rd. It was a really fun season. Thailand and Africa are top tier, but this was a really good season. Okay, so what can we expect next now that the first 7 seasons are done? What I'm going to do in the next couple days here is make a video where we are going to sort of do a casting process, right? We're going to look back at all the seasons, see who needs to be on this, and then we're going to put together the All-Star tribe. If you have thoughts, please put in for this season or any season who you want in, and we'll review those people, and we will make the All-Stars cast. I am so excited for Wild Shuffle All-Stars. It's going to be great, and this is where we can start to see people build their legacies, right? Right now, our GOAT ranking is just people, is the same as the winners ranking, but this is where somebody can build this up. If we have winners in here, this is where they can build themselves up. And even if we don't have winners in here, if there's somebody who's not on this list who got like 2nd place in their other season and now wins this, or they had a great first season and now wins this, they could be the GOAT even if their single season is not here. So this is where things are going to get really interesting. Looking forward to seeing who you guys think should be in All-Stars. Look at this. Most strategic was perfectly done here too. Really fun season. Can't wait to see you guys on the next one.